As far as the chaos we find ourselves in these days, it's difficult to say which side pulled the trigger first. Erusia deployed an automatic intercept system with drones. Osea implemented long-range attacks to bypass them. So Erusia decided to sabotage Osea's communications and navigation technology. Erusia couldn't launch a satellite themselves, but they were still able to hack the software of the Osean transmission and navigation systems. Before Osea even noticed, half of their satellites were hijacked. That's when things got ugly. In an attempt to knock out each other's capabilities, both forces launched fighters loaded with anti-satellite missiles at the same time. Only military satellites were targeted. However, their destruction created a debris field in orbit, which wiped out scores of other satellites, both private and government-owned. What kept the world relatively sane up to that point had been free-flowing data and information. But now, those were gone. All that remained was chaos and confusion. Government and civilian broadcasts and transmissions were cut off. The flow of information had ceased. Forces on both sides of the conflict now found themselves unable to communicate with their superiors. Many of the smaller countries annexed by Erusia and yearning for their independence seized the opportunity and started their own uprisings. As for why some of Osea's military decided to break off from the main force and continue on their own, I have no idea. Perhaps there was some sort of dispute over the chain of command. The continent that had once seen wars that were only fought between Osea and Erusia was now full of numerous conflicts between rival leaders vying for power. Insurgencies were everywhere. I even heard a rumor that a group of Osean convicts had rebelled. Rumors. It never ceased to amaze me that even at a crazy time like this, something as trivial as a rumor could find its way here. Communications from corporate were cut off. Apparently, the entire computer network was down. It was a wise decision to make our drones autonomous with AI instead of being radio-controlled. Wise and forward-thinking. Even with their GPS offline, they can still use their sensors to navigate as long as they're working properly. I'm sure the drones are still working perfectly, following their mission orders to the letter. I wish I could upload Mihai's new data to them. But without a connection, I can't upload the software to the active drones. The new ones we're making, though, there should still be enough time to upgrade those before they're activated. I'll be taking the data I've acquired away from the front lines now. Oh, and I'll be taking the girls, too. I told my assistant Masa it was time to get Mihai's granddaughters ready to leave here. She's not much older than the girls, but she has a way about her, and I'm sure she won't have any trouble with them. I saw a plane flying off in the distance. I imagine it was looking for a safer place. The plane had a rose emblem on it.
Erusia's communication networks have been down since their satellites were destroyed. Unfortunately, we are experiencing trouble too. All of Erusia has been affected, and we don't know when things will be back up and running. We're not even sure if this is Erusia's doing. Still, we will follow the strategy that was originally planned, and move on to the next operation after liberating Farbanti. Let's get to it. Since the war began, we've been receiving communications in secret from an officer in the Erusian army.
With the capital under our control, Erusia's radical element is losing support quickly, affecting the balance of power.
HQ is thinking of using the military officer as a way to gain leverage to settle peace negotiations. The officer is currently hiding in the outskirts of Anchorhead Bay, having joined up with support dispatched from the Osean army. The plan is that they'll take a standard vehicle to a rendezvous point at a harbor in the east part of the city, where a helicopter will be waiting.
I would like the new Strider Squadron to provide escort for the officer. Cyclops will remain at the base on standby to serve as defense.
With the communication network currently down in the capital, I very much doubt Arusia will be able to mount a regimented counterattack. However, it is likely that Arusia's intelligence department and the remaining forces who are aware of the officer's movements will interfere. Keep a close eye on the officer and make sure he stays safe. Our victory in Farbanti has given us a golden opportunity to finally end this war. Be safe out there.
Take note that our satellite-based IFF has become unreliable following the recent communications failure. As such, target ID will be done by processing the images from the infrared cameras on your aircraft. Objects will initially appear as unknown on your HUDs, but will be ID'd once you close in on them for a set period of time.
Strider Squadron, you're cleared to taxi.
To the unidentified Ocean craft, this is Captain Carl of the Ocean Army. Are you here for the escort? You're not the squadron I was expecting. Are you really friendlies? Over.
This is Longcaster. Airborne warning and control system for the Ocean Long-Range Strategic Strike Group. Captain Carl, they're on our side.
And those two pilots we've heard about must be here too.
Okay, I hope you're right. Longcaster, are all of these really unknowns?
It's a state of civil war. The Erusian army is fighting itself. There's no guarantee the Oceans won't shoot us in this confusion.
We'll image process the unknowns caught in your cams to identify friend or foe. The process will be faster if you get a close-up, well-centered image.
Meanwhile, we just run if they shoot us, right?
Affirmative. Always identify your target before you fire.
War is something I'll never get used to. But tonight has been a total shock. The city under martial law. Gunfire and the roar of jets echoing through the streets.
Give me Strider Squadron's IDs. Oh, and hand me that sandwich. ID'd as Ocean Forces. This is AWACS for the LRSSG.
Our info has been updated.
You guys are open to trial galore, leading our country into further ruin.
Entering the Anchorhead Bay area. Buildings will block your line of sight. Make sure to keep track of your objective.
How this war ends depends on this mission. I'm counting on you.
Understood. Strider Squadron, identify the unknowns along the route.
Caution, caution.
This is a message to all of you fighting out there. Ask yourselves, what is best for our country? Perfect Strider 1 destroyed target.
Target acquired.
path for us.
The more the merrier.
We can't see the tops of the roofs from down here. Be on the lookout for enemy ambushes. We made it through the Anchorhead Bay area. We're heading along Highway 208 under the bridge. We're taking the coastal highway at the next ramp.
All right.
There's a strict curfew, but people gather at bars and other places to learn what's going on. Missile inbound! Evade! Strider 2, Box 2.
General managed to convince them.
Listen, those that protect General Labarge are the real patriots. Onward! Somebody take out those Allied planes behind us.
There's a vehicle up ahead. Think it's gonna ask us to pay a toll? Get closer and find out if it's an enemy vehicle.
We'll go. Let's go.
We archived all the footage that we've shot when the communication networks come back online.
Vehicle blocking the road. No response to hails. It's the radicals.
No such thing as a Cold War.
Signs of the clean warfare at the beginning of this war are now gone. Strider 1, missile away.
It's no good. There's still a car on the road. Just to be safe, we better avoid the highway and head for the warehouse district. Lancaster, we're taking a detour. Don't lose us.
Strider 1, the General's route has changed. Keep your eyes on his vehicle. Don't let him out of your sight.
Here comes the traitor, Labarge. This is white that they cast. They really don't want the war to end, do they? Labarge in that vehicle!
They've been set up in all the right places.
It is not machines that make the decisions in war. It's people. Understand that.
We have some enemies coming up behind us. They're gaining on us.
was technology they borrowed from the Belgians.
Strider 1 was shot down.
There's a strict curfew, but people gather at bars and other places to learn what's going on.
Missile. 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 Stall warning.
Wait, the General managed to convince them.
Listen, those that protect General Labarre are the real patriots. Onward!
Missile. Missile. Missile.
There's a vehicle up ahead. Think it's gonna ask us to pay a toll? Get closer and find out if it's an enemy vehicle.
Wilco, let's go.
Missile.
We archived all the footage that we've
Missile.
shot for when the communication
Missile.
networks come back online.
We need to remind everyone that there's no such thing as a Cold War.
Signs of the clean warfare at the beginning of this war are now gone. There's a vehicle blocking the road. No response to hails. It's the radicals. Vehicle destroyed. Nice work. That takes care of that one. We're heading for the highway. Thanks to you. We got out of paying that toll.
Missile. Missile.
This is AWACS Argus. Those who can hear us are our allies. Your new orders are to dispose of Eduard Labarth.
We're almost at landfill number 7. If we can make it through, we'll be in arm's reach of the rendezvous at Kruger Park. Captain Carl, do you have the means to record this conversation? I wish to explain to you the situation inside Erusia. I'm sure the boys listening upstairs will record it. An open declaration of war, expanding the front lines, was all the work of some young Erusian officers.
Stall warning. Caution.
They were referred to as the radicals. There was an unseen force guiding them. It was technology they borrowed from the Belgians. When they actually went to war, the performance of the attack drones exceeded their wildest dreams.
Missile.
And they were incredibly clean. They got public opinion and the opportunists within the military on their side. They even manipulated the princess. The Belgian technology advanced UAV research within the Erusian Flight Test Center by at least 10 years. They used the flight data from a former ace pilot to create drone AI, but to us it's no different than magic or alchemy. Airplanes are meant to be flown by human beings. For those of you listening in, am I wrong? We're heading towards Grunder Park. Rendezvous point is a helipad on this man-made island. We'll ditch the car and take the helicopter from there.
It is not machines that make the decisions in war. It's people. Understand that.
There are rumors of a military group calling itself the Free Erusians.
Missile launched.
So what? Why are you getting your head in?
Missile.
Which faction is the head of our organization? We need to know at once.
Attack missed. I'm hit. Get this guy off my back.
Fire on that vehicle.
The VIP is taking fire. His vehicle stopped.
Missile.
Ceasefire with the Ocean aircraft. General's orders.
Ocean forces at landfill number 7. This is AWACS Longcaster.
Missile.
That vehicle is one of ours. Ceasefire. The info just came through.
Missile. Missile. Missile.
I've got him in my crosshairs.
Missile inbound. Evade.
Strider 1, target destroyed.
Missile. Missile.
I'm on my target's tail.
Missile.
rendezvous point. New coordinates are as follows. 263 Tango 4, 199er Delta Lima. Rescue team says hostiles are making the area too dangerous.
Well, yeah. Don't they know nowhere is safe?
Our capital's fall has led to another power struggle within the Erusian military.
It's all gone to hell. Even radio chatters about the Civil War. Radio? You have one in your cockpit? Yeah, ever since my previous squadron. I've got it taped, nice and secure.
We're about to cross Anchor Bridge. There'll be nowhere to hide. Listen up. From here on out, all aircraft are prohibited from taking off. An armored vehicle's behind us. It's a vehicle used by the Erusian forces. Take it out!
Trigger, our VIP is in trouble. Clear the way for him.
Taking fire! Take care of them!
We're outnumbered. There were too many conservatives in the Air Force that hated the drones. Somebody take out those Allied planes behind us. Take out any in autonomous mode.
We're taking fire! We can't hold off! Right your smokes. Three strikes will flood you.
The drones aren't receiving my orders. Can we switch the UAVs to slave mode?
We've almost reached the container area. Watch out for enemy ambushes.
Understood.
System failures caused friendly fire incidents among Ocean forces. There are even rumors of penal units turning on their former allies.
Hostile tanks are keeping the armored formation at Anchor Bay from protecting the VIP. Can you clear them out for us?
No problem.
General, we still have drones at our disposal. It's too early for big dogs. Watch out for future industry in the high heavens.
Target acquired.
I can't take it!
Target locked.
We have no choice! Fire!
Fox 2!
This one's mine.
It's three strikes. Who's a member of the penal unit doing crying on plane?
My engine's been hit. Where did that come from? I'm surrounded by nothing but friendly. No, the attack was an unintentional mistake. Adios, buddy.
If a drone is acting suspiciously, shoot it down.
General's vehicle is under attack. Our VIP is taking fire.
We're under attack! Hurry up and do something! We made it somehow. Try to get off your ass a little faster next time.
Unknown aircraft approaching.
Target destroyed.
We're coming up on a tunnel. We'll need to split up until we reach the exit. There's more to Belkin technology than just UAVs. Thinking IFF designations for one was an astonishing feat. They used it to make drones that resembled Ocean fighters. And then to assassinate Harley and put blame on enemy fighters. But in the end, Belkin technology only brought chaos to the world.
I can't believe Lucy is responsible for Harley's assassination.
Talking politics? That's new.
Can't ignore a story like that, right, Trigger?
Those guys shooting up there, aren't they both Oceans?
Vehicle eliminated.
Missile. Missile. A missile.
UAVs are acting strange. Their autonomous mode must be bugged. It's not the drones that are faulty. It's this little Charlie Foxtrot.
Enemy has a lock.
It's ID'd as Erusian.
The General's a real celebrity. Seems everyone wants to meet him.
Strider 1, warship sunk.
Missile coming at me.
Critical escort objective destroyed. Mission failed. Abort mission.
Bad news. Hostile armored forces outside of the tunnel. I'm thinking that we should go say hi before they ruin the General's day.
The General's a real celebrity. Seems everyone wants to meet him.
We were nearly done for. I couldn't have asked for better timing.
Nice. Glad to see the Oceans attacking the radicals.
How's your last long caster? We've been briefed and we're here to help.
Regionalism is part of the infighting within these groups.
Our squadron serves General Lavard and we're acting based on our patriotic duty.
We've reached the industrial zone. This should be the new rendezvous point. The coordinates are up ahead. Take out any enemies in the surrounding area.
Wilco.
Officers from countries annexed by Erusia have taken multiple groups and declared independence.
Glad we waited. Don't worry, we won't let anybody through after you.
Almost at the rendezvous. In the rear to the others.
Understood.
The radicals truly believe boosting drone productions will make up for our losses. They should be taking responsibility for the capital's fall, but instead they're prolonging the war. That is why proper conservatives like myself are moving to regain control. If all goes well, we should be able to sign a truce with Osia quickly.
Bandits flashed.
We've reached the rendezvous point. There's the chopper, too.
Who do we turn to in this darkest hour? We need a beacon of light to show us the way. This is the Erusian News Network.
Okay, let's go. Getting out of here. I've had just about enough of this place. I'd like to offer my thanks to the LRSSG. This should finally bring about a true end to the war.
Understood. Good luck. Multiple unidentified aircraft approaching.
This plane is carrying civilians. We have escort fighters, but we do not intend to engage in combat. Please stand down.
What's going on?
Try to get a little closer. Weapon use is prohibited.
What's going on? Dr. Schroeder!
Whoa. There's a girl on board?
He's not lying about carrying civilians.
No. Unless she's a soldier.
Weapon use is prohibited. We've checked footage. It does seem to be a transport with escorts.
I repeat, this craft is carrying civilians. We are not here to fight.
Dr. Schroeder, tell me what's happening.
I'm sure I don't need to remind you, but do not attack the civilian liaison.
That's the aircraft your grandfather told me about. The one with the scratches.
There it is. The EASA liaison plane. They engage in witchcraft with Belkin technology. They're responsible for leading the military down the wrong path.
Wait, unknown's attacking the girl's plane.
Alma, hold on tight.
Longcaster, permission to engage.
Negative.
What?
They could be Ocean fighters. ID them ASAP.
Shit.
That's all we can do.
ID complete. They're Erusian fighters. What the hell is going on?
Stay sharp. Uh-huh. Right. I'm shooting him down. Any complaints?
Granted.
Wilco.
Wilco.
Yeah, good work. Strider 1 has killed a bandit.
Careful, those guys are good. Wait, you don't think it's those Ocean big shots, do you? I managed to catch a glimpse of the 3 strikes.
Don't miss. Aim carefully.
Mine.
Shot down.
No good. Shit.
Warning, enemy has a bead on you.
Missile, evading! Breaking off.
They're in my way.
Target was not struck.
Behind the enemy. How are you? Are you still in this?
Strider 1, target acquired.
Bandit destroyed. Well done. Strider 2. Bugs 2.
Behind the enemy.
Nice kill.
Good work. All hostile aircraft eliminated. The liaison is safe. Wait.
The escort fighter is... the drive. They're missing the drive.
What the hell? You gotta be kidding me. Liaison escort has a radar lock. They're targeting you guys.
What the hell? We were just helping them.
Erusian aircraft, this is AWACS Lancaster. Do not engage the liaison. Break off now.
Can you hear me on this channel, OC craft? Those escort aircraft are drones. They are currently being operated autonomously. They are not being controlled by anyone. They are flying on their own volition.
What?
In that case, we have no choice but to shoot the aircraft down.
Unfortunately, yes.
We did what we could. Weapons free. You are cleared to attack the escort.
Wilco. Understood.
Wilco.
Hey, it's not our fault they won't listen to reason. Why build something like that? Whoever did is the king of all dumbasses.
To build something else entirely.
Watch it. Enemy has a lock on you.
Can't afford the MQ-99 Plus. Our commands are overridden. They must be accessing it remotely. Houston is behind this.
Additional hostiles inbound. Great timing.
Son of a bitch.
Our drones headed this way.
No. The escort must have used its remote activation rights to gain more allies. Clever.
Strider 1, missile launched.
How are you? Are you still in this? Strider 1, target eliminated.
left. Show them what you got. One bandit to go.
Strider 1, that's what I like to see. Another story to tell my boy.
Understood. All hostiles have been eliminated. Nice. General's helicopters flying safely outside Anchorhead Bay. All aircraft, RTB, mission complete.
All hostiles, huh?
General, the Ocean aircraft is here to pick us up. The approaching Ocean aircraft.
Losing his army? Elaborate. They stole our sealed orders. It should be a piece of cake.
Were you sent by the General's staff? No, we'd like you to send... No, I can't!
There are 3 scratches.
What does that mean?
The tail of that plane.
Lancaster, are all of these...
In order to respond to the attack on the base, Cyclops has scrambled after being on standby. We'll head up too, once our planes are ready. Oh, and Labarth is dead.
What did you say?
Apparently, he was shot down by another Ocean aircraft after he left the area of operations. I mean, I know it was chaos, but still. At any rate, the sealed order operation has come to a close. We have no idea about a plan for going forward.
All we can do for now is watch our own backs.
What's up with the commander?
He's staying in his room. He's still alive, since we can hear him crying.
The island we went to was supposed to have been secured by the ground forces. They hadn't gotten a handle on things by the time we got there, so now we were stuck in the middle of a half-assed campaign. My job was to get the planes ready for combat, making repairs and handing them over to our troop of cons. Thing is, the enemy still had the hangars. The comms were still down, so none of us knew what the hell was going on. The last transmission I heard before everything went to shit was that some prisoners from an Ocean military penal unit rioted and managed to escape. They stole some jets and now they were flying around, taking out their former allies left and right. I wonder if any units like ours were out here, creeping around. Hearing the Ocean jets firing at each other overhead chipped away at morale. Since the radio was out, it was quiet. I liked it better that way. All I heard was the gunfire. Here we were, walking around carrying rifles. We were pilots, damn it. Friendly fire will probably kill us. You know things are desperate when the guards that used to lock us into solitary are now telling us it's better we all stick together. I guess they think our odds of surviving this war are better that way. After walking for miles across the battlefield, we came across the wreckage of a plane. Passenger, not military. I knew that rose. It was an Erusian liaison plane. The guard's dogs smelled something and took off. They led us to a cliff. And the bodies.
Today, I lost everything. When Osea attacked our capital, my father, a man who was never really suited to being the king, was killed. was to be flown out of the war zone to safety, but the plane was shot down by rebels. The entire crew was killed in the crash. Soldiers appeared and one shot at me. My dog went after him and shot him to pieces. He was my best friend. After all those speeches I gave about working together for peace, I thought everyone felt the same as I did. I'm sure the soldier who shot at me knew I was the Princess of Erusia. He was Erusian too. More soldiers have come. Now, there is no one left to protect me. I am so numb, I cannot move. I watch as one of their dogs approaches. It sniffs mournfully at my dead friend. I wonder if it grieves for him as much as I do. I can barely think. I feel weaker by the minute. I don't know who these soldiers are with, but I managed to take a sip of the water they gave me.
How long have you been here?
Somehow, I muster the courage to answer the woman's question. I tell her I've been there 3 days. They gather around me with grim looks on their faces. What would they do if they knew I was the Erusian princess? After searching the cockpit of the plane, the woman who spoke to me before came back to me.
This is an air-to-ground tactical radio. It still works!
I noticed she walked with a limp. She knelt down next to me and asked her companions to give me some food. And then, very softly, she said,
"You see, I used to listen to your broadcasts, Your Royal Highness."
Just what did you see here?
Okay, enough talk. Your opinions have all been taken into consideration. Beyond the seizure of Forbanti, which is important, and supporting the Erusian officer. At this point, I just don't know what our strategy is, or what our mission will be. Radio communication is still patchy for both the military and civilians, so we're getting zip from Mission Command about our orders. Still, with countless Erusian forces in the area, it's too dangerous for us to stay around here waiting for a miracle. Now, regarding Count's suggestion to think about self-defense, I think we should make a break for Tyler Island. It was a large Osean base before the start of the war. Count says his previous squadron took part in an operation to seize control of the island. It has the only base that will get us to the space elevator without refueling. It's also a transport facility for supply ships that provide drones and ammo for arsenal birds. For the Osean forces that are looking to reclaim the space elevator, those are two great reasons in its favor. If everything went according to plan, the base may already be in Allied hands when we get there. Though based on what Count told me about the island operation, it won't be easy to seize control.
If the ground troops have managed to open the bridgehead, the transport route to Osea for supply ships should be available.
So much at stake, I can't imagine Erusia just giving it up without a fight. Things could really have gone bad.
Even if there are enemies left, they should be pretty easy to suppress.
I just want to go home, man.
Me too. With that look on your face, Trigger, I know exactly what you want to do.
If Trigger's ready to kick ass, then so am I.
Damn straight. We're with you, Trigger.
It's decided then. Let's get all the aircraft and haul ass to Tyler Island. Although we can avoid the Arsenal Bird's anti-air network, there's still remnants from the Erusian forces. I want to get to the island without getting into any unnecessary combat. Pick a fast craft and fix it how you want. Pack for a long trip, but remember, if you drag your ass, you'll get left behind.